Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on Piper Academy. I'm Army Piper, and we're continuing to see this boring range that we've been in on Bitcoin, guys. Getting a little pullback right now at the market open. Stock market officially open today, but right now, guys, just a little bit of a sell-off going on. Nothing major. Bitcoin's down right now 1.2%. XRP down 4.9. Solana 9.2. So some alts getting a little bit hurt. Touched in some bad places there, but overall, Bitcoin not doing too bad here. On the hourly, we are seeing some red, but FTT getting a 9.2% pump in the past hour. Guys, we got a poll up. How old will you get? We're going to show you the reason for that poll. But yeah, right now, guys, answer that poll. Let me know how old you're going to get in your lifetime, because evidently you can live to be 300 according to the federal government. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to break down some economic data, take a look at some charts and stuff, try to figure out, is Bitcoin about to do a major parabolic rally? Is it just beginning, guys? We're going to be looking at this chart right here. And you can see behind me there, historically, this has been our profit building range, and we are just now starting into it right there. You can see it right there. So we're going to be taking a look at all of this and breaking it down, guys. We appreciate everyone here. Let's go ahead and get it. You guys know what time it is. Class is in session. Let's go. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Piper Academy Network. I'm Army Piper. This is the show. We bring you guys the news, the headlines, the economy, the market open, everything that you guys need to get some knowledge so that you guys can predict if the composite man is taking your money or not. Shout out to Eric Wallen. That was for you, bro. Let's go ahead and bring up my co-host here, the OC guy. What's up, man? How you doing, OC?
Not much. Just enjoying my coffee today. It's a good day. I mean, as you mentioned, we're still within that range. Although Ethereum is going back to my entry zone. If I see flip of the ribbon, I'll be grabbing some for myself. Although you know
Absolutely.
what I got to say about Ethereum, right?
F Ethereum. F Ethereum.
F Ethereum.
Let's give a shout out to our audience here, our viewers. We got Alex, Average Crypto Joe in the house with us. Robert Mulligan, what's up, man? Sokatano in the house with us. Crypto Coin Mindset's in here. I don't know what time you start today, Crypto Coin Mindset. We might try to set a redirect to you again. Average Crypto Joe is in the house with us. I already gave him a shout out. He gets two of them. Rayanne Shipley's in here. That's my niece. So shout out to my niece, my lovely niece in the house joining us, learning about crypto today. Trade Intuition, what's up? T.I. Joe in the house. BC Port Corp in here with us right now. Crypto Billy said he's driving and listening, man. So driving and lurking and driving, it is okay. The police will not give you a ticket for that one. You're good to go, Billy. Shout out to you. Roaming Brave, Harp in the house with us. Anthony Vince in here with us. Trip Brock, what's up there? Brock, how you doing, man? Andy Lee's in here with us. Eric Wallen, I already gave him a shout out. Supernatural, Dusty Hunt, Retro Mike Tech, and yeah, the OC guy. So I appreciate you guys all being here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. If you guys haven't done so yet, smash that like button today. Or if you want to wait till the end and say, you know what, I got something good out of this, and smash it then. That's fine with me too. Shout out to 2Dub. Shout out to LBC. Much love to all the alumni. You guys are why we do what we do. OC, let's go ahead and jump into the news. I got a lot of stuff to break down today. We're looking at a couple of headlines today. Let me go ahead and take a look here. Headlines today. We've got one guy saying no $200,000 Bitcoin this cycle. We got another guy talking about a $273,000 Bitcoin coming this cycle. Pretty much, there's a post that I have here on my bookmarks. I'm going to bring it up here. This is the post right here, the current market situation. That pretty much sums what I'm reading in the headlines. The bulls and the bears just sitting at the table waiting for whatever catalyst is going to come to make either side be correct. So welcome to crypto, where price can move sideways for a long time, and just when you get bored and look away, bam, it hits you. Like that. That's what it happens. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the news, OC, and talk about what we're seeing over there. So let me get this set up. And let's do that transition. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Yep. looking at the news here, guys. Let me get that little nudge. There we go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that white line. You gotta, if you know, you know. Boom shakalaka. Oh, good Lord. It's Tuesday, man. It's Tuesday. My dog kept me up late last night. She was all scratching, like no fleas. She takes medication. She just decided that, hey, you know what? This is a good time for me to groom myself at 3 a.m. In the bed. So, ended up putting her in the living room and said, you're sleeping out there. You're not keeping me up all night. So yeah, great morning. Great morning. Let's talk about the total market cap here, guys. Currently right now we're sitting at, let me get a refresh on this. Can I get a refresh on this? Let's do that. We're sitting at $3.149 trillion right now for the crypto market cap. Trend line is at $3.477 trillion. So we are currently 9.43% undervalued according to the main trend of Bitcoin price or crypto market pricing. Looking at Bitcoin right now, we're sitting at a 57.1% risk band. If you guys don't know, this is how we do our dollar cost average with exponentials. So this is really solid way to no matter where you are in the market cycle, if you're starting your DCA from the bottom or you're doing a DCA reset up to take a profit, this is how we walk it through within our Discord community. So shout out to all the upperclassmen and the alumni. They get all this info every day. Let's go talk about the market. Bitcoin dominance right now is sitting at 59.69%, just below 60%. 71% is the range we are watching for, because that is going to be the range where we actually get into altcoin season historically. So without stables, we're at 64.23%. Let's go check out the fear and greed. Good old fear and greed. There we go. Fear and greed index right now is coming in at 47. We're sitting in neutral on there right now. So let's go over to crypto bubbles, take a look here and see what the prices are looking like. So looking at Bitcoin, we're at 95,588 right now. Yes, Buck, you are correct. Tuesday was the best DCA day this week, but at the end of all of it, it will not matter. But yes, happy for you. You got your Tuesday DCA, about $1,000 less than what I got mine yesterday. So down 1.2% today. Ethereum down 5.2%. XRP down 5.2%. BNB is down 3.9%. Solana is down 9.4%. Doge down 6.4%. Yeah, a lot of red, guys. Chainlink's down 9.1%. Litecoin is up 2.1%. We've been talking about this token for 2 weeks, guys. You can see here on the weekly up, on the monthly up, over the year 78.2%. So not necessarily crushing it, but it's up quite a bit since we first started talking about this, and OC is going to go over that on the chart. Let's see here. Toncoin down 4.8. 17 spot here is down 6%. That would be Shiba Inu. And then rounding out the bottom, guys, it's Hedera, Hyperliquid, and Leo Token down also. Leo Token probably doing the best right now because it is a decentralized native token. And so a lot of people swapping in and out of that doing pretty decent. Only down 0.8% versus the 8.7 and 9.1 for position 19 and 20. OM moving up 1 spot, though, to number 21. Mantra might be entering into that top 20 here soon, OC. Looking here at the CNBC Pro website, guys, looking at the market open here about a half an hour ago, 40 minutes now. Dow Jones down about 0.3%. The S&P and the NASDAQ are flat, guys. Only up 0.01%. Now it's red, unchanged, neutral. And then the NASDAQ neutral. So we are seeing market pullback and the VIX is turning green. That's not what we want to see. Let's go take a look at the bonds. 10-year bond coming up, breaking that 4.5% again. And let's take a look at gold. Moving back up 1.53% at $2,945. Silver is up a whole percent at $33. Copper, platinum, palladium, all to the downside, man. Copper's down 2.28% today. BC Port Corp, get out of your copper trade, man. What else we got here? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Let's go move over into the economic calendar. We did get some data this morning. This is going to be the New York Empire State Manufacturing Index. Now, from first look, you're going to go, oh, this looks good. It's actually a mixed report, and I'll show you why. It was previously down 12.6%. Consensus was that would be down another 1%. Forecasted that it would be up 2%. It came in higher at 5.7%. Good report, right? Not when you go in here and take a look at this. So New York Empire State Manufacturing Index surged 18.3 points to 5.7 in February 2025, easily surpassing the market expectation of -1 and signaling a slight rebound in business activity across New York State. New orders and shipments saw moderate growth, while employment levels declined. So hidden inside of there is a nice little piece of the employment, the labor market weakening while manufacturing is increasing. So a little mixed report came in there this morning. Shout out to Retro Mike Tech. He said, $5 super chat. Can you take a gander at virtuals for Miss Fine? You know I can, man. Here, I'm gonna throw some 2Dubs in here because 2Dub can get whatever she wants. I got her. There you go. Wix Wife Fine 89. I got you. Yeah, we'll take a look at virtuals. OC, can you get that one ready for us? And shout out to Emma Coiner. Emma, we need to talk. We need to get you rolling. Let's go, lady. Let's go take a look over here at what we're seeing on X marks the spot today, guys. According to Rect Capital, we are 80% of the way into the bull market. Progress will speed up as we enter the parabolic phase. And I just showed you on that chart, we might actually be in that window now. So only 20%. He actually says in this report that he thinks that a majority of the altcoin gains will be made. Where is this at? Nope, that is not it. Let me go find it again here. He's talking about altcoin gains could be made. Yeah, there we go. Show more. And then take a look at the thread here. He talked about the altcoins could make a majority of their gains in this 20% market, in this 20% period of time. So, going to have to wait and see if we break that 71% and get that altcoin season. Could be looking at the biggest altcoin gain period being in this last 20%. But of course, Bitcoin has got to show some type of resilience and strength here. Current market situation, 80%. We talked about that. Oh, hey, Michael Saylor, guys, did not sell any shares of his Class A common stock that he uses to fund his Bitcoin purchases, nor did they buy any Bitcoin this week. So back to a hold strategy for strategy. Not micro strategy anymore, just strategy. So back to the hold strategy for the strategy. And then lastly, the MVRV, we'll talk about that here in just a little bit because that's another indicator of strength right now that I'm seeing in the markets. Let's move over and we'll get to all of that, I think, also here in just a little bit. Node 200K Bitcoin, popular trader explains why it's unlikely this decade. And then Bitcoin's final dip before $273,000, according to a market veteran. So let's go jump back over here, OC. So overall, we got economic data came in some strong, some weak information in it, right? But right now, markets are selling off, likely due to just this sentiment, the sell-off risk sentiment. Gold is pumping up right now. We got gold moving to the upside, so that's obviously where some money is going into. And then we've also got the 10-year Treasury bond returning back to that 4.5 and above zone. But I want to get into the poll real fast before we look at the chart. It says, how old will you get? Less than 100 years old is right now the leader at 59%. And then we got 30% said 100 to 200, and 11% said they're going to live to be over 300. I want to show this video of why this is in here, because when I saw this, it was mind blowing. If you guys don't know, yesterday there was a situation with the IRS. News. Can we go to news? There we go. Yep. It was the Social Security Office. Acting head of Social Security. Oh, hey, come on now. There we go. Acting head of Social Security Administration resigns after dispute with Elon Musk's Doge report. So he said it's the biggest fraud in history. Let's jump over and take a look at this chart here. Get out of here. Get out of chart. Let's bring up this phone. There we go. And let's take a look at what was happening here on this video. These ages are going to blow your minds, guys.
This is the number of people in each age group who our Social Security Department says is still alive. We apparently have more than 6 million between the ages of 90 and 99. That's not even where the craziness starts. See, because we also have nearly 5 million between the ages of 100 and 109, 3.6 million between 110 and 119. I'd like to remind you that the oldest person recorded on Earth right now is 116 years old. But that can't be true, because according to our Social Security Department, we have 3.4 million that are between the ages of 120 and 129. 3.9 million between the ages of 130 and 139, 3.5 million between the ages of 140 and 149, 1.3 million that are 150 to 159 years old, and fuck, we not even have people who are above 200, but we even have one who's above 360. And let me just remind you, once you're past this bracket, all of this is eligible for Social Security. But yeah, there's no fraud. There's no reason.
Yeah, so there you go. That's what the report found at doing their deep dive at the Social Security Administration. These people, whoever they are, someone out there is still collecting money from the Social Security office. But yeah, no fraud. Don't worry about the fraud. It doesn't exist. Alex O Crypto, what's up, bro? Much love to you, man. I appreciate you, man. What's up? Drop the otters in the gangs for the OG otter gang in the house. I appreciate you being here, man. So yeah, OC, what the hell? What do you think? Fraud? Not fraud? Clerical error at the Social Security office?
No, not at all. I think it's just a bit too much thinking that you cannot. I mean, and vampires shouldn't have social security, right? So I mean, they're still humanoid still. So I think if they work their life off, they still have chance to get a social security, right? And, I mean, anywhere where they're gonna be finding all that blood if it's not from the social security thing.
Yeah, according to LBC, he said this was a coding issue that was resolved back in 2023, but evidently it's still in there. And look, if the government has a place that they can tack on expenses, or so, hey, we need a place to put this money at where this money was spent at because we don't have a home for it. This gives them ways out. So avenues of approach and avenues of exit. So yeah. Coding error. Exactly. BC Port Corp. Let's go take a look at this Bitcoin chart, OC. I'm going to pass it over to you. And then I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin. Can you bring up virtuals for that super chat from RMT for the two dub? She wants some virtuals. So I'll bring up Bitcoin. You bring up virtuals and we'll knock this out. Let's first go jump over to Bitcoin on the 4 hour, talk about this. We do have a regression trend here running that has just been pretty much our range going back here to the 4th of February now. So for 14 days, we've been in a falling channel here on a regression trend. Right now, Bitcoin price is coming in at 95,370. Taking a look here at the 4 hour oscillator, we are sitting in red on money flow. That's what that line is right there, and it is in the red and negative. It looks like we're about to get another flip down here on our oscillator pro ribbon, and volume sitting pretty light right now in the volume matrix. But looking at the support levels, guys, we do have the lower support band of the predictive ranges coming in at 93,200. That's a level to watch, despite our MACD showing us downward pressure on the weekly. This is a weekly chart, so a lot of the weekly looking like we have quite a bit more downside to go, despite those levels. So you really need to watch that $93,000 level there. Looking over here at the daily on Bitcoin. This is the Piper Sniper kit with the fixed range volume profile. Fixed range volume profile value area low coming in right here above the dynamic reactor. We do have a fib level here that we're pushing on as support right now. This is off of the kill box, the dynamic fibs that Chart Prime prints. So watching that level there, that one's coming in right about $95,000 right now. So sitting right below us on the one that I want to talk about, though, that I'm really watching for support, key levels of support that we've got to hold, guys, it's going to be this moving average here. And this is on the Pi cycle indicator. You can see once we break that, it typically does not do very well for us. We do tend to have some downside. Now, here we did have a little sideways action where it was our resistance, and we just kept bouncing until we got back in it. But overall, once we break below this, we can see some pretty substantial moves over and over and over again. So keep an eye on that level, and that level currently coming in right now at about 94,000. So this 93,000 to $95,000 level going to need to hold for us if we're expecting to see that play out of this chart, which would be our profit range, right? So yeah, that's what I got on Bitcoin. Let's kick it over to OC, see what he's seeing on virtuals, and then we'll come back around and check out the chat.
Absolutely on virtual. So this call was not given in this channel. It was given in another channel that we also give chart plan classes. But something important that we need to understand, it is a breakout retest, right? My first entry that I was given, or that I gave, sorry, it was at these areas right at the lows, and then taking TP number 1 at the next resistance, and then taking TP number 2 in here, and finally taking TP number 3. And the next entry will be at the breakout, right? The breakout retest, and off we go. As you can see, TP number 1 and move entry to stop, it played out almost exactly like that, right? But the next one did not, right? So what do we do in those cases? Let me just right click in here and lock this so I can clear almost everything else. There we go. So what we do in these cases is just wait for the next breakout retest or the next pattern, right? So let's start throwing a couple of trend lines in here. I would say that this is a good enough. I'm trying to catch this, and of course this other one. So yeah, we broke this other trend line to the upside, breakout retest, and off we go. But we ended up flopping back down. So at this point, we are losing the previous high, lower high, right? So yeah, higher low. So at this point, I mean, what we're looking for, it is just either crazy support or confirmation. I mean, at here we're pretty bearish. We are jumping into maybe a consolidation zone, maybe, and we are dumping on our prophecy. So let's get started with our indicators and see what do they show. So first of all, we are on previous week low, so we could be at a support. So far, if we don't go into that support, if we lose that support, our next target is going to be at 0.70. So for me, at this lower cap, having a loss of negative 32, this is not an option for me. So I'm going to be just waiting for confirmation. What would be the next maybe smartest possible thing that I could do? Again, looking for that confluence, same area right here. So let's just mark it here. There we go, slightly below trend line. What else do I have? Well, areas of smart money areas right here. Maybe on this shelf once again. What else? Maybe the last rescue scenario right here. Finally, another one in here, and that is basically it, right? So I have two areas of entry. The first one here and the secondary here. So I will be adding two alerts. One at this point, and what I want to see in here is just basically money flow crossing over the zero line, and then my flip of the ribbon, or almost a flip of the ribbon right here, because look at that, we are still on price zones. Does that mean that we are going to be stopped falling? Not really, but this is telling me that we are maxing out on the bearish side. All right. So what's going to be next? Well, aiming for the next possible scenario, which is going to be right here. I'm going to set it a little bit above my area so I get alerted before it gets there. And then again, I'm going to be looking for that flip of the ribbon. Remember, flip of the ribbon at support or at support. It doesn't matter which support is, but you need that combination. Flip of the ribbon and support, so you can start thinking into getting into that risky situation, right? Again, we are below dynamic reactor. Our prime score is 1. We are bearish, longing a bearish trend. It is going against the trend. I'm not saying that you cannot. I mean, the best case scenarios played out like that, but you need to be aware that you are at this point going against the trend. What would be just my let's say my limit point where I will be trying to long it? As I start breaking back above this area, maybe finding support breakthrough, because I'm also going to be breaking through dynamic reactor. This is going to be my first longing area. And then better yet, the retest, and off we go. So let me just be clear here. Long position with a very risky scenario right here. All right. Setting my stop loss right below my previous support, or better yet, add confirmations like this. So other than that, that's what I got on virtual. So turning it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Had a request to look at Solana. Let's take a look at that. So, guys, we had our rejection zone here. This has been on my charts for quite a while. We've talked about this in the trade groups, and we've talked about this over on, the other classes that we give and stuff on other channels. But looking here, we lost this back in February 3rd, and we just have been in this range here, and then we lost this level now. This level was 188.84. I had the support zone down here because this has been a key level of resistance for us, and then became our nice support bounce zone. We've now lost that too. We are not looking too hot right now on Solana, guys. Also, if you take a look here, these are the prime pivots here from the Market Dynamics Pro from Chart Prime. This is our monthly and our support zone pretty much overlapping. That is now our resistance zone, and we pumped up to it, pulled down, selling pressure underneath it, leaving us some wicks above, and now we are rejecting off of that. The level that I'm watching now, guys, is going to be this next support zone. So first, let's go make this a resistance zone now. Resistance box, thank you. You're now red. And our last line in the sand here, guys, before we head down to some old fixed range volume profile levels, and I'll show you that in a second. It is sitting right here at about 156 to 153. And I do think that we are going to head down in that direction ultimately. And if we do not hold there, if I put this on the daily and pull up what we're seeing here on some fixed range volume profiles, let me just turn off a couple of indicators here. There we go. And let's just focus on fixed range volume profiles here. We do have a point of control that's coming in at $146. Very likely because we've lost now on this higher time frame, the value area high, and the lower time frame, lower value area low, very likely going to be heading down to that 145 would be my target. And then 126. 126 is going to be your next line in the sand, and that is going to be based off the value area low. You can see all the support that has occurred down there. And now that we've lost these areas, guys, looking at the volume, we're below this node. We got to fall down to here, which is going to hit this box that I just talked about. And then the biggest volume node here, that point of control, that is going to need to be held. Again, that's $146. That's what I have on Solana OC. Let's kick it back over to you, and I'll check out the chat.
Absolutely. So just for Bitcoin, I want to go over Bitcoin because yesterday we were talking about liquidations, right? So let's keep an eye on liquidations. We are on big support at this point. Still, liquidations to the downside are easier to get than liquidations to the upside. That doesn't mean that we cannot roll over. But look at that. It seems like we want to do that double bottom scenario that we have seen before, right? Which means, look at that. Again, guys, I'm not saying that this is going to happen for sure. I'm forecasting my scenario, and especially my worst case scenario that I'm trying to convert into my best possible opportunity, right? So if we can get one of those sweeps down, well, then how far could we go? Let's just measure it. And by the way, we already have measured this a couple of times, right? So this is the area that we're looking for. And there we go. Previous areas of support right all the way down there. Let's compare it to this other zone where, there we go, we have our next possible movement. Remember, it is exactly the same thing. Maybe I can just work it up a little bit better. But again, this is my worst case scenario. Remember, plan A, bullish, plan B, bearish, but we're still fighting on over that range, right? I like it to be on the bullish side on the plan A. Still, I need to be prepared for plan B. Let's take a look at now something that we've been talking about, which is dominance on Bitcoin, Litecoin. Let's go over daily here, and we see that we keep following that trend. Remember, this is a price of Bitcoin or value of Bitcoin related to Litecoin, which means if this goes lower, your Litecoin based on your Bitcoin will get appreciated. All right. But we're starting to form a little bit of a bullish divergence. Just be careful here, because if you bought yesterday, as we were telling you, well, then you got a little bit more appreciation at this point, and we could be seeing one of those peaks just coming back up. Piper, just interrupt me whenever you're ready. I have a list of things that I'm going to go through.
Oh, yeah, we're good, bro. We're good. I'm just looking at the chat, reading up here. Leonard Beaches was talking about he worries about the the elderly that have been paying into the Social Security system for decades and there not being no money there. I just saw a video the other day and it was pretty crazy. This guy, his dad was an American and his mother was Canadian, and he was born in the United States, but his dad's residence at the time was Canada. So he never knew that he had to go and file his paperwork to get his U.S. citizenship, even though he was a born to an American citizen, right? And so he went through and he got a Social Security card because they're saying that when this time period was, it wasn't, they didn't do deep dives. They just looked and saw a birth certificate and, oh, his dad's an American and he was born in the United States, right? So he had a Social Security card. He had everything, you know, it was all legit looking, right? Retired, filed Social Security, got a letter from Social Security saying, hey, you're at retirement age. Here's your monthly benefit level, right? Everything. Went on to the next month and didn't get a check and contacted them. And they said, well, you're not eligible for Social Security. You're not a U.S. citizen. And this guy's been paying into the system for like 40 plus years, man. Yeah. So, hey, be careful. You never know, man. He's like, I don't even know what to do. I guess I'm going back to Canada now because I can't afford to live in the United States and not have to pay for healthcare and everything else. So I guess, yeah, I go back to Canada because I'm still a citizen there at least. So, crazy story, but it happens. It happens, man. OC, what else you got for us? Let's take a look at your chart, and then I'll come back and knock out a couple of altcoin TAs here for us. Honestly, guys, right now, altcoins, be very careful. I've been focusing heavily on Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. Well, like I said last night on that great show that TradeFly did with Crypto Billy, if you guys haven't seen it, that fireside chat interview last night was phenomenal. But I told him last night, welcome to Piper Academy, home of the Bitcoin Maxi. I'm just where I am right now, and until we see a change of that price structure, we have to acknowledge that Bitcoin is where your money is safest right now in the crypto space. I still got most of my money sitting in USDC, which to me, for since I sold off at 102.7, is absolutely the safest place right now. So shout out to everybody in the chat right now. OC, let's go back over and check out your chart. We'll come back and do some altcoins.
Absolutely. So just following up with the trend here, Litecoin doing fantastically here. We have a breakout, right? And then a retest. We were looking at this trend line. So just to be warned that we could be just basically falling back behind. We did broke that trend line. Guess what? We fall back behind. And something else, we are not leaving, at least just yet, the dynamic reactor zone. We need to be a little bit careful because I see big wicks in this point, right? And when I start seeing those big wicks, yeah, it's not a rule, right? But still, that worries me that there are selling pressure at that point, which means that even when, that added to that we are up below the zero line on the oscillator right here, we could still do, loss of that volume, maybe loss of money flow, and finally create a dead cat bouncing here and then fall back behind. But so far, this is the plan B, right? But so far, we are still bullish, and we should be waiting for the rebound breaking through that zero line for our next opportunity. So far, I could, if I really wanted to, draw a trend line like this, on some sort like this, try to catch those weeks and do breakout, maybe waiting for the retest, and then off we go with a little bit of risk in here. I still need to see when I bounce below here, how is my oscillator doing? Ethereum. F Ethereum, all right, F Ethereum. But something that I was telling you guys, it is that, yeah, I know, man, I know. Man, he kicked my ass twice 2 weeks ago, and I'm still sort of it. But I see the Ethereum intention to trying to reach to the dynamic reactor, and for me, that's important, right? Yeah, we do have that absorption zone at the top, as I was explaining on Litecoin, and we see that rejection. But guess what? That rejection zone, it is an important zone of a support. Not only support, also a trend line. So if I can if I can see that flip of the ribbon and maybe do a higher low in here, I know I might get a little bit entry lady here, but I will be willing to buy here to then TP number 1 and then TP number 2 with a possible addition right here at 2,803. Guys, like Piper mentioned, be very careful with altcoins, Litecoin included. So up next, let me throw it back to you, Piper. But up next, I do have Copper, Atom, OM, and Link. If you don't take them,
I was just going to take a look at a couple of alts here, just running down through the list. Let's jump back over here. Yeah, taking a look here at Cardano right now, guys. That trade did not play out. There we go. Get rid of you. Looking at Cardano right now, we are getting a rejection from the underneath side here of the 50% fib. You know, that's a bearish sign to me, especially when you've had multiple rejections here on it. Very likely heading back down to the golden pocket. That's going to be coming in between 66 cents to 70 cents. That would be the zone that I would watch there for support. That's Cardano right now. Let's go take a look at SUI. Had to make sure that my Apple device didn't think that I said something else, and I don't even want to say the word. Look at here, value area low. That is going to be our point here that we're going to watch. We are losing the support zones, all of them, after rejection off the point of control. That area coming in right now at $2.90. If we lose that level, guys, we don't really have another big zone until down here, and that zone is going to be coming in at about $2.35 on SUI. So again, we really need to see Bitcoin find some support and get some bounce. While we're in on that, let's jump back over to the news cam here with both of us up here. OC, what's up, dude? And then let's go take a look at what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I want to talk about this chart before you go into those alts. So you can see going back here historically, I'm going to bring this back like we left something. Looking back here historically, when we've hit into the beginning of these phases, guys, this is right there, that green cross symbol, that goes into what they call the profit zones, and it's based on when you started your DCA stuff. We have a much better DCA plan than what this indicator gives you, but it is interesting when you look at the price action that has occurred during this pocket of time, because there's historically been pretty good time of the rally, right? This is your biggest profit zone, and you just, start taking your profits when you hit on your fib levels here. This is my all-time Bitcoin historical fib channel here. But I do want to point out, last cycle, when we started into this, we were pretty much going sideways here. Nice little box there. Let's throw that on and get that little rectangle on there. There we go. We pretty much had this box that we traded in for this entire period before we dumped, right? And then we had a rally midway through this cycle to the top there. So this would have been a better time to actually be looking at your DCA entry for a second rally after taking profit on this rally, right? Let's go to this current cycle and take a look at what we have here. Pretty much, guys, we just had a nice little rectangular box here of consolidation. So let me get that fixed in there. There we go. That's pretty much what we've had going into this cycle, looking a lot like this first cycle here. A little bit of a more narrow channel, but overall, heading into the profit-taking cycle right now with the sideways action going in. So are we going to see this pullback and then a bounce back up? What would that look like here on our fib levels? Guys, I've said through this entire cycle that I do believe the 786 was going to be a key level of support. And every time we ran in on it, we got another pump up. Well, if we were to continue to run sideways on this, like we are right now, we would pretty much hit that level where we would have to start looking at a push up in June of this year. That's about the time period that we got our pump last cycle, okay? They're above OC's head. So if we were to pull back at this level right now, I would watch for the level being around $70,000 would be the level I would watch for the bottom side move on this, and that would close out that old CME gap that we have. But right now, that would be the level of support that I think that if we broke, we would be in a bigger trouble than what we think we are. So, looking at these levels where we are right now and what this could be looking at, I would say that we might be coming back in to hit if we do get this pullback in and then around June, July start to come back up. I would be looking at us coming into the price range here somewhere around the 125, 126 level. And that might actually be all we get out of this cycle. So Bitcoin right now, though, looking at the entry into the profit taking zone, looking a whole lot like what we saw in the last cycle there, where we could have this post quarter one pullback, quarter two summer going into quarter three, get our second leg up, and not even sure that we would hit very much higher than that. Because when we look here at this chart, what I wanted to point out here is that moving average of the pi cycle is what we're pushing on right now, but we do have our golden pockets, trend-based golden pocket here for our fibs, and that has been where we have been rejected numerous times. Little fake outs above it, but overall, that level coming in at 103 is topside. To break the top of that, we'd have to break $114,000. So, guys, bulls and bears sitting there at the table. That's what I said earlier. That's pretty much what we have right now. Where are you at, bull and bear? There we go. Bulls and bears just waiting to see something happen. This is OC and I when we sit together at a table down in Cozumel. So, OC, what do you got for us, man, on your chart? Let's jump back over, take a look at Chainlink. We got about 19 minutes, man.
Absolutely. You were saying that we should be running out of out of the copper trading. You're absolutely right. In fact, let's just zoom in here and let's remember what we talked about on copper. We were looking at this formation. Guess what? Played out fantastically, that formation. Then what else? Going back for retest. We're filling that retest. Remember that I was expecting, wait for that flip of the ribbon, right? Or at least give it one more candle, right? What happens? We fill in that support. And what are we going for? Well, our next big area of support, which is dynamic reactors, something important. And now let's zoom out, right? Look at that beautiful trend line that we have going on. So I would say that I need to see, of course, flip of the ribbon, right? Maybe we're going to be seeing that double bottom pattern that we are expecting on Bitcoin, something like this. And look at why would that happen, right? Bounce, breakdown, and then rejection. So that will take us somewhere around, let me show you what I'm expecting, something like that. I think we're going to be making a little bit of a dead cat bounce and then going for a little bit of a lower support on over this trend line here. I can also take a look at, for example, not this one. There we go, where my support and resistances are, and they both are on the same areas that I am expecting for it to bounce. Let's zoom back in here, and let's see how far can we be going if we start losing the previous zone in here. So let's bring up the other predictive ranges. There we go, and we have golden line, and finally we have a 4.30 area right there. I think this is a little bit too much. I would rather go for this area of entry because we're going to be having dynamic reactor, previous monthly low, and a golden predictive range. So be careful on copper, but I think that maybe an entry opportunity might be presenting itself if we can see the flip of the ribbon, and of course breaking through that zero line will be a little bit more secure. Let me do OM very quick, because yesterday I remember that we talked about this, and let me just clear this up. And I was telling you guys, remember, we need to wait for confirmations if you want to jump back in. Remember, I told you, grab your money and run away with it, and then wait for that confirmation to play it out. We were coming down. So what's happening right here? We're not there yet. Well, we do have the flip of the ribbon, but we're not there yet out of the danger. Why? Because look at this. This is a soft, yes, soft order block, but right against it, we have a loud order block. Be careful. I'd rather see it going through that loud order block, going back, finding support, right? Having also supporting here, something like this, and then that's going to be my next entry for the next movement to the outside. As the louder block migrates back into this soft order block after we have been taking it. So that's what I got, Piper. Just a little bit of an update on OM, just not to keep you guys hanging. So turning it back to you, my friend.
Yeah, we were talking about the Bulls and the Bears, right? And so I go over to look at the heat map. Like, what's the heat map telling us here on the liquidation heat map? Check this out, man. So looking at the 2 week heat map, we have a big chunk here of liquidity in two different spots. The first one starting here at about $98,000. Our lower level here sitting at about $93,000. So we're like stuck right in the middle of a range between two liquidation heat map zones. Also, I just, Bulls and Bears, man, I'm telling you, they're just waiting for some catalyst in either direction at this point to figure out which way the money's going to go on price action for Bitcoin. So shout out to Crypto Princess joining us in the chat. Her Royal Highness of London, England, here with us, gracing us with her presence. So I appreciate having you here, Crypto Princess. Shout out to you. I want to LBC. I got to talk about this. He said, look, I think people misplace my. No, that's not it. It's up here. Where was it? He said, DOD. Can we stop going for the low hanging fruit with Doge and get to auditing the DOD, the IRS, and the Fed? So I agree, but I will tell you why the DOD has such a big problem with their audits every year. A lot of people don't understand this. They talk about the $500 hammers and $300 toilet seats, guys. So everything in the budgeting for the DOD has coding, right? This code for this account, this code for this account. It's a billing code, right? We have a thing in the military called material acquisitions. So pay close attention here. I'm about to give you guys the secret of why there's $500 hammers. Material acquisitions is part of the counterintelligence community, and their big job is they get their hands on other countries' technology so that they can reverse engineer it so that they can then create what will defeat that technology on the battlefield, right? Material acquisition. So whether it be a radar system or some new AI project, whatever it is, whatever they think is a threat to national security, they will acquire that material. And it's not like they just go over to a company in China and go, hey, we'd like to buy this computer chip you got so we can see its capabilities. They got to do a lot of networking of informants, right, to get their web of network to that location, and then they pay a whole lot of money for that stuff. Well, when they build that code, they're not going to say, "Yeah, we bought this chip from China." It's going to say it was on this billing code, which is under material acquisitions, and that billing code is for hammers, whatever it is, right? So it is how they hide what they're buying to get technology for counterintelligence to create the next thing that can beat that technology, right? So when you look at the auditing, nothing is going to make sense, which is why they always fail their audits. On top of it, they do stupid stuff like, hey, we misplaced a tank and left it in Afghanistan, stuff like that, right? But in general, the reason that they are so difficult to audit is because of the rapidly growing technology in the world. They have to get it to know how to defeat it, and they can't say that we bought this technology. They have to say we bought very expensive hammers. So that is the reason that you get so much inaccuracies in reporting for the DoD budget. So there you go. Little insider info. I worked with the counterintelligence unit in DC for a long time, and when I learned about material acquisitions, it was eye opening. I understood $600 hammers all of a sudden. Let's see what the chat's saying here. Hit the like. Yes, I agree. Smash the like. It's free to do and it helps channel. Absolutely. Been reporting so many scam comments the last morning on BGT videos, dude. They're the scam comments like, "Hey, this is great content. You guys are rocking it. By the way, I got a problem, maybe unrelated. Can you help me? I have this money on OKX, and here's my seed phrases. Guys, don't do it. Don't do it. Protect Piper at all costs. He's not suicidal. Facts, bro. Facts. Please, if something happens to me, guys, I am not suicidal. Somebody came and unalived me. So be aware. Now you know. OC, let's we got about 10 minutes. Let's wrap this up. What do you got over there for a couple of alts? Did you have any more alts to show, or was that pretty much it?
I have Link, maybe.
Yeah, let's get. Definitely want to do Link.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely want Link. This is for Buck.
So let's take a look at the previous analysis. By the way, again, this call was not given on Piper Academy, was given a week ago on another Discord. But at this point, remember that since we were below dynamic reactor, well, my entry points, because we are bearish, it was just a sweep of the lows for a spring, because this is a Wyckoff distribution scheme, right? And that would be my best case of entry. Or if I break through, right, the previous range zone or range line, and then I find support for a continuation upwards. What it did nothing. It just basically was still on that range. But at this point, look at that. We are hitting the lower area of that zone, and we're almost there with the flip of the ribbon. Guys, we are very bearish. And remember, where is my entry right now? All the way down here. So this is only if you really want to jump into a trade. And again, this is not financial advice. All right, I will be doing half of an entry right as we speak. Right, so let me just point it out here. Half of an entry, and then also let me mark this so you don't say that I did not warn you. This is danger zone. All right. But still, we are on support, and we almost have the flip of the ribbon. So half of an entry could be at these areas here. Be very careful, because I rather see it going all the way down here, or again, breakout retest. But so far, that's what I got on Link. Let me just bring up maybe my order blocks. Not really much that give us that. Well, yeah, we do have some support, previous weekly low, which is the previous, trend line, and then a liquidity zone. But that liquidity zone is not that strong. So other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over and wrap this up talking about Rect Capital's newsletter this week, guys. If you guys don't have this, go to Rect Capital newsletter.rectcapital.co, and you can put in your email and get this free every week. Rect Capital does an amazing newsletter, and I love his stuff. So welcome to the Rect Capital newsletter, resource for investors who want to better navigate the crypto market. So he's talking here about the bull flag that we have at the possible post breakout. But I want to talk about week 16, because that's where we are right now in this process. And he's got a good breakdown here. Looking at the weekly range, this is week 16 after breaking all-time highs, if you're wondering. He's looking at the weekly range here, and we are setting below this symmetric triangle, guys. 50-50 chance that it can break to the upside, downside. Looks like we are breaking to the downside on this. But moving down to what he's talking about here, the cycle has been a cycle of reaccumulation ranges. Not only that, but each year in this cycle has produced a prominent reaccumulation range. 2023 produced an extended range, and you can see that whole period there. 2023, the whole period there where it did this reaccumulation before it popped up again. And then in 2024 produced an extended post-halving extended range. And that is this pocket right there, okay? But getting into the 4-year cycle, the 16-week, there we go, week 16. And this is where I found something interesting this morning. He said, historically, Bitcoin tends to break out of its second price discovery uptrend in week 16 after breaking old all-time highs in the post-halving period. So as of right now, our all-time high is coming in like about $109,000. So he is saying that if we hold this support range here that you're seeing right there, that green line, which is coming in about $94,000 here, if we hold $93,000, if we hold this level, that could give us the bounce up to break that. If we do break that, then we could be looking at a continuation here of the cycle coming out of week 16. However, he said, so historically speaking, Bitcoin should be breaking out this week. However, I go back to my strategy, which I shared a few weeks ago, on how to approach this phase of the market after properly timing the price discovery correction. The goal throughout the price discovery correction has been to stay patient and not get shaken out, hodl, reaccumulate if necessary, and generally survive up until the point of week 16. Starting from now, the outlook will be to simply wait to await confirmation of trend continuation via a weekly close above that range high resistance of the current weekly range. Because if Bitcoin breaks out this week, history will repeat, but there is a possibility that that breakout could come in week 16, week 18, or even week 19. So really, to stay on this breakout post accumulation cycle here. What we need to see is sometime in the next 3 weeks, by March, that we break this level here, which is coming in. Let me take a look here. This is on the weekly. Let's go to the weekly chart. Look at that top side movement there. That would be a level of 104,445 to break that candle level for that range top, and then ultimately 109,358. But I do want to point out and remind you guys, we do still have the weekly bearish signals, and we're very high on a lot of stuff with a lot of downside to go. So are we going to see this in the next 3 weeks? That is the big question. And until then, guys, the bulls and the bears are all sitting around doing their thing like we've been talking about. That's the current situation of the crypto market right there. So we appreciate everyone who's joined us today. OC, any thoughts on that, on the Richt Capital week 16, 17, 18 post all-time high breaking, right? And are we going to see that breakout, or what's your sentiment? What is your sentiment? Because, I have that video.
Oh,
is this the top, right? And I gotta say, it's not looking good. But if there's any hopium, it's in the next 3 weeks. What's your thoughts now?
Absolutely. Well, remember that we still need to see a big low before my prediction start playing out, right? Why? Because I did talked about an extended cycle. So first of all, let me say, hey, what a newbies there on Twitter. But not just kidding. But I mean, we need to trade this over and day by day, right? My sentiments, I do have a very bullish sentiment. I'm aiming for somewhere around, I don't know, 200K or something for this cycle. Again, guys, I'm not a magician. I don't have a crystal ball, not yet, still not working. But remember that we do analysis, and based on the analysis, we rinse and repeat. Talking about my sentiment, I'm bullish. I'm very, very bullish. And until we start feeling a big support, yes, I'm not going to be changing my sentiment. But I will be changing my strategy day by day, week by week, month by month, depending on what I do see in the markets. But other than that, let's go 500,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, so I'm cautiously optimistic. I took my profits. Yes, that would be bearish, right? But I started my DCA reset. And so that is the optimistic bull in me, right? So overall, I do think that we have a lot of indication of weakening economy, a lot of indication of weakening price structure. But 4-year cycles are 4-year cycles. And while you do have things on 4-year cycles like trend-based fib extensions giving us golden pockets for our tops, which we have hit, we've also got repeat cycles of like 2021 where we had our pullback. If you had dollar cost average that entire period, you would have had a second rally of profit taking, right? So, hey, at the end of the day, DCA is the way, especially when you do it the way we do it in the Piper Academy. The Piper plan, it's all based on exponential DCAs that we take profit at the risk band 70, 80, and 90. So if you guys don't know, come over and check it out. Hit me up, even if you're on the free side, and I'll give you a walkthrough on how we're doing that DCA setup. But it is basically compounding profits and gains back in over and over and over again, and we're going to make a lot of money off of that thing. So come join the Discord and check it out, guys. OC, I appreciate you. I know you got to head over and do a class with Chart Prime, and I got to go spend some time with my wife and my dog because family first always here at Piper Academy. So, guys, we appreciate everyone that joined us here today. If you haven't done so, smash that like button, and remember, it's free to do, and it helps us out immensely. If you got any value out of today, show some heart. Sharing is caring. Share it with a friend. We appreciate all of you. OC, what do you got for the people on the way out, man?
Guys, thank you so much for joining. And a quick reminder to click that like button, because if you do, well, then you will always have a fresh cup of coffee ready to go. Don't believe me? Click that like button and then just wake up a little bit later than your partner. You'll see how that coffee magically appears.
And if you smash the like button, you'll always have a cup of coffee. And if you share it, you'll always have a nearby bathroom for all that coffee. So there you go. All right, guys, we appreciate you. We're about to head over and raid Dano Crypto. I went and looked. Nobody else was live. So, well, they were, but it was Discover Crypto and Believes. I'm not going to redirect there. We're going to go redirect to Dano Crypto. So, guys, we'll catch you back here tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the morning market report. Don't forget to tune in today at 4 p.m. for the Trade Academy with TI. This evening, we got the Crypto Nightcap with TradeFly and the Markets After Dark with Lunar Beaches Crypto. Tomorrow morning, we started all over again with BC Port Corp on Good Morning Crypto, and we'll be back at 9:30. Until then, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, form a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline.
Boom shakalaka!
We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra. Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!